Welcome to No Room for Phonies.
Episode 133.
So we've been talking about movement in March, and in our last episode, we talked about the book Built to Move. And now this time I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that I've learned about self-care and exercise and staying strong.
And mostly involving movement.
Yes.
Yes.
And part of it is just reminding people that it doesn't matter what age you are. If you want to start on a self-care movement exercise journey, it is kind of never too late.
It's never too late. And
so
all of our physiotherapists,
my Pilates instructor,
who'd you my face at your physical trainer, Kristen, like everybody has said.
You can start at the book age. And another book that I just read on longevity, his mother passed away, and the father turned 80 and he was really depressed, but they started him on this journey of self-care and exercise and getting strong, and he's climbing mountains and doing all kinds of things where before his knees were bothering, his hips were bothering, and all kinds of things were happening to his body. But because he committed to this in a positive way,
it turned around.
It turned around a lot, a lot.
At 80, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So self-care is what I wanted to talk about first of all. And it's just crucial for maintaining your well-being and your mental and physical health. And it caring for yourself also boosts your productivity and enhances your relationship. And then self-care is really part of a fulfilling and a balanced life. So
we're going to look at 10 reasons why self-care is important. Firstly, it reduces stress and anxiety.
So they're talking about things like relaxation techniques, hobbies, or spending time in nature just to manage stress and anxiety. So
yes, and I was just in British Columbia in the rainforest, and even though it was raining, I was definitely forest bathing in very bright green moss-covered trees and brooks and fountains.
And it does relieve stress.
Oh, it was an amazing experience.
So it also improves your mental health. So I heard actually it's Zachary's girlfriend Angel who doesn't call it mental health, she calls it mental peace.
Yeah.
And I really like that phrase. I think it's because thinking about your mental peace and doing self-care improves your mood and your resilience and just your overall sense of well-being and your peacefulness.
Right. And self-care is important because it boosts your physical health. When you prioritize self-care, including healthy eating, exercise, and adequate sleep, this can improve your physical health and reduce the risk of chronic diseases.
Like things like arthritis and, chronic headaches or all those kinds of things. Certainly.
Even heart and circulatory
bowel,
disease.
Digestion, all those kinds of things. So in the next one, it says it enhances relationships. So kind of when you are taking care of yourself, you're better equipped to nurture and maintain healthy relationships with others. So part of the reason why I exercise a lot is because I really love spending time with the little kids. And if I'm not healthy, I can't.
You couldn't lift, you couldn't run,
I can't climb, roll down hills and climb up slides and swing people on the swings.
Kind of fun things.
Go tobogganing 1 million times this winter.
Self-care increases productivity. So if your mind is rejuvenated and well rested, it's more capable of focusing and being productive.
That leads to better performance in both your personal and your professional life. So obviously, you talk, I used to think, people would come to me and just say, oh, I'm so stressed and I'm so this and I'm so that. And I would say, take a day, take 2 days, because you're not productive at work if you're in that kind of shape. And that leads right into the next kind of a thing where we're promoting self-awareness, because you're paying attention to your own needs and boundaries.
Yeah.
So that you're aware of what you need and what your body needs. And then in hand, the next one is it reduces burnout.
So prioritizing self-care can help prevent burnout and maintain a healthy work-life balance.
And it increases your energy. Self-care activities that promote rest and relaxation, such as getting enough sleep, just reduces fatigue and then also improves sleep. So, establish a relaxing bedtime routine, getting some good exercise. And then in the end, what it really, really does is boost your self-esteem, because
it takes care of your needs, and by prioritizing your well-being, this can lead to a greater sense of self-worth and confidence.
If you don't even think you're worth caring for, then it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. You can't. Oh, I had this quote. I can't remember the author, but you can't be healthy by doing unhealthy things.
No. Yeah. And I mean, they give a lot. There's always the example of you're on the airplane and you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help somebody else. So just 10 examples of self-care is prioritizing sleep. And we have these little apps on our watches that tell us how much sleep we get and the kind of sleep we get. And it is interesting to know that. Yeah.
We never knew this before this last Christmas. So it's very interesting to see the score.
7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night is good. And then practice mindful.
For the average person.
Yeah.
I don't get that many.
No, but I think it's just something to have a goal to work up to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So practicing mindfulness like meditation and deep breathing, or just paying attention to the present moment to kind of reduce your stress. And when you're doing something like knitting or watching TV or reading or cooking or walking or whatever, just being aware of yourself and your surroundings. And then, of course, number 3 is
move your body.
Yeah. Regular physical activity, brisk walk, yoga, dance, Pilates, whatever it is.
Resistance training, and all of this will improve both your physical and mental health.
Yeah. And then nutritious eating, balanced meals, and spending time in nature, and then engaging in hobbies. And a lot of that I've read lately talks about journaling your thoughts.
Oh, I was going to say, one of my colleagues that I hung out with a little bit more yesterday afternoon, for 7 years, he's been refinishing an old car. And
that's his hobby.
That's his hobby.
Yeah.
He says he's sick of it because it's been 7 years, but he's like just doing the finishing touches now. And
it's a form of self-care.
It was a type of self-care. I thought that was cool.
So journaling, connecting with loved ones, and doing something fun together. And definitely self-care means...
It could be movement. It could be a board game.
Yeah. Definitely setting boundaries is learning to say no to commitments that drain your energy and prioritize your own needs and well-being. And then finally, just practicing gratitude. And
some of you might be thinking, well, how do I do this with a full-time job and children? And it sometimes it's about the quality, not the quantity. So it might just be 10 minutes a day.
Well, and this is why I like the next list, because it says, give your kid hug it out, drink water, add a little cucumber to your water, count your blessings, phone or text a friend, make something with your hands.
Oh, I couldn't do the next thing. And end your shower with an invigorating cold blast.
It does say that's good.
I know.
Do a few yoga stretches.
I walk in the snow.
Pamper your feet. Turn on a humidifier is very good. Use, one of those face masks. Play a favorite song. Cultivate a positive attitude. Like, instead of going down that path
spiral
of whatever,
doom scrolling.
Lift weights while you watch TV or listen to a book.
Don't check your phone immediately when you wake up. Take a lunchtime or after dinner stroll and embrace JOMO.
Joy of missing out.
That's a better one than FOMO.
I know.
The fear of missing out.
Exercise your feet.
Zone out and watch a movie or a series.
Stash the cookie jar and put out fruit. Drink lots of tea all day. Give your eyes a break from screens every 20 minutes.
Or longer.
Breathe like a yogi. Schedule just a little me time, 10 minutes, whatever.
Yep. Pet a dog, get some sun, get outdoors for sure.
Clear up some clutter.
I have to say
that is my best form of self-care. Yesterday I cleaned out the fridge freezer, and everything. That felt like self-care to me because it was so cluttered
Well,
and
and it was
so
a little mutual
gross.
care because now I can go in the fridge and enjoy a clean,
Yeah.
no clutter fridge.
Plant something, donate your time, treat your hands well. Think of food as energy
And
and
spend time with friends and count your blessings, meditate, and carve out mindful moments.
get more sleep. Stay away from people who bring you down and celebrate silence. Do
And
nothing.
do nothing.
So, when you think, oh, I don't have time for self-care, you have time for that.
Yeah.
And one little thing.
And you can take this list, program it into your phone to randomly appear on your calendar, and there you go.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. Life is hard. Denial and avoidance are unsuccessful strategies. Truth and awareness mend. And perspective doesn't reduce gravitas. It increases reverence.
I like denial and avoidance.
Too bad. It doesn't help.
I know. Unsuccessful strategies.
But I like it. Perspective doesn't reduce gravitas. It increases your reverence for
Yes.
understanding
Mm-hmm.
what the world is like. And then there's exercise. Exercise is vital, obviously, for overall health, offering numerous benefits from preventing chronic diseases and boosting mood to improving sleep and just enhancing your ability to physically function.
Right.
And there's a little bit more detailed list. So reducing the risk of chronic disease. So
Regular physical activity significantly lowers the risk of developing conditions like stroke, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers.
I recommend that everyone at least goes for a walk every day. But you also should find at least 2 to 3 times a week for at least a half an hour. You should be doing some kind of resistance training.
Yep, lifting weights of some kind.
Weight management is another reason to exercise because it just helps you by burning calories and boosting your metabolism. It just can keep weight off your body.
Mm-hmm. It helps with stronger bones and muscles. So exercise, especially when you are doing weight-bearing activities, which you can do with body weight. And there's chair exercises and wall exercises.
Yeah.
It strengthens bones and muscles, and it reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures.
And then, of course, the improved cardiovascular health, blood circulation and lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, and increased energy levels. It can combat fatigue and overall energy, allowing you to tackle more. I have wanted to get out in the early mornings, and that's what I'm hoping if it finally gets warm, that we can. Takes us about 45 minutes to bike our round.
Right.
And it would be so good, like even just 3 days a week to do
Mhm.
that in the early morning.
And walk on the other ones.
And exercise does improve your sleep quality. It also helps with your mental and emotional well-being because it reduces stress and anxiety by releasing endorphins, which are mood boosting.
Yeah. And exercise improves mood and self-esteem because it just promotes a positive outlook on life, especially if you don't get into the comparison trap. You just do the exercises and you just celebrate what you've done that day rather than look
And it can
at
teach
somebody
you-
else in the gym and feel like you're not
it can
the
also
same.
teach you a lot of things about your body, like
Yes.
what positions to hold.
Body awareness.
Yeah,
and-
and what muscles are you, and I've learn about some of the things like fascia and, and what muscles and why you need to stretch your hips and why, and how you can make your knees stronger and, all those kinds of things so that you really understand what you're doing. And one of the big things that I've learned about exercising is you really don't have to pound.
Right.
And because that's not necessary. Like there are people who are runners and that's
Mhm.
great. Run
Mhm.
away. Not run away, but run.
Run.
Go ahead. But you
It
don't
doesn't
have to do
be-
that.
No.
Exercise also enhances cognitive function, memory, attention, and concentration.
And if you do it with friends, it can increase social interaction, group exercise, sports at the gym, can increase social interaction.
And I
build a
think, you know,
sense
when couples
of
are having a
community.
hard time figuring out what to do together,
Exercise is
sometimes,
an easiest one.
you know, get a few weights, get some resistance bands, find something online
Use
and do it
HasFit,
together.
HASFIIT,
SFIT.
I think, or whatever.
Has
Has
Fit. HASFIT.
Okay. It's
There's
a couple.
also
It's
one-
a couple. So you can do
It's
your
also
your
called, there's
exercises
also
together.
one called FitBod. You have to pay for it, but
Yeah.
it's good as well. So I just wrote down the 10 ways that I stay strong. And then I thought you could add in.
I'll chime in if I do different ones.
So Pilates has really become a thing that has helped me a lot. I actually did it through a physiotherapist, and it's paid for through my insurance for now.
Mm-hmm.
But and right now I've been going twice a week, and it basically does all the weight and resistance training that you need. I mean, I'm using a reformer and a box. I know you can go to Pilates classes where they don't have any of those things.
But you have things like
but-
there's other.
But
yeah.
anyway, I really I have
and
fallen in love with Pilates.
I don't do it regularly, but I do have physiotherapy exercises, which are osteo poses and yoga poses, and then some body weight exercises.
Right. So, and then the second
both-
one is that what we do together is cycling.
Yeah. We're
And
starting with 11 kilometers a day, and as the weather gets warmer and we don't tire out, we'll add on more distance.
I'm hoping that I can do about 20 to 25 a day every day that I do it. And I'm hoping to at least do it 4 out of 7 days.
Yeah, some of that is available time.
Yeah, it is. But for me, I can.
Yeah.
And whatever. You can ride your bike to work.
Yes.
We are both, I think, working on developing healthier sleeping habits.
Okay, and I have to say, I thought it was going to be hokey and not realistic, but I am taping my mouth. There is still a little bit of room to breathe on either side, but I am no longer waking myself up from snoring. So
No, it's good.
been really good.
And I think one of the things is when it says, one of the things I've read, that if you want to sleep 8 hours, you have to go to bed for 9 hours. So you literally
Mhm.
have to go to bed an hour before you want to fall asleep and wake up. And so we're both working on that. We're both working on hydration, drinking water and green tea
Ginger tea.
and ginger tea.
I just dehydrated maca. No, not maca. I dehydrated turmeric and ginger and made our own dried tea.
Yeah,
it's really good.
and I drink a maca shake every day, and that helps with actually hormones,
Adrenaline levels,
and
energy, and hormones.
adrenal
yeah.
glands and hormones. So, and then eating a balanced diet that is heavier on greens and vegetables, which we
Mhm.
do. Cutting back a lot on sugar and alcohol, which we've definitely done
I have
that.
alcohol maybe once a month and sugar maybe 4 times. So something that's
Yeah.
a little sweet.
Setting goals that inspire me to move and be healthy. I like goals. I set a goal to ride 100 kilometers this week because last week was so beautiful, and then this
And then
week
it got
was
super
snowing.
cold.
And I did ride some, but there's
It
no
got
way.
too windy
It
and
was just windy
snowy
and
or
snow.
rainy.
Windy, snow, cold. So I mean, I obviously
But
did other things.
in the West Coast. I went on 6 hikes, regardless of the rain, and either had on a hood or an umbrella, and still
Yeah.
walked.
So, and then connecting with friends and family. Like I have breakfast on Friday with my friends, and now golf season will start, and I have a really good friend that I like to golf with.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to Easter with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
some form or another. Zachary and his girlfriend are moving, so I know we'll get involved with helping with that, and just, spending and looking for ways to have some fun and spend time with people.
Yeah.
Like that's good. I haven't done very well at starting a meditation practice. I really wanted to, but I'm trying to stay mindful, but I really do want to start a meditation practice. So I've
Mhm.
got to really work on that. And I like my hobbies and my opportunities to give back to others. So those are kind of my 10 ways that I stay strong mentally and
And
physically.
physically.
I
And
think those are
I
the
join you pretty
the
much
main
on almost all
10.
of those.
I don't know if there's anything else that you do that.
I think I can't call it meditation, but I do check out.
Yes, you do. Aren't you lucky? But so I think those are our ways. And so, as March is kind of coming to a close, I think it's just important now that I wanted to do this whole thing on movement before the weather got too warm to kind of inspire people to
Just
set
encourage
some
all of
goals.
you to.
Because when the seasons change and the weather gets warm, it's a really good time to set some new goals and get
Yeah.
and feel.
Better than December 31st. I think that March 31st is better for all physical goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the next book that I'm going to do is called, the next thing for April, I'm going to talk about small goals and small gains. And there's a book that I read called Just One Thing. And I want to share
Sounds great.
all the just one things that
So
he
that's
suggested.
more than one thing.
Yeah, I think there's about 30 little tiny things, so you
So
can
it's
pick.
obviously one a day or something.
Well, no, you can just pick.
Okay.
It's not a
It's just one
calendar.
thing.
It's not a calendar. It's
Unbelievable.
like-
It's not a list.
no, it's
It's not
just-
about time management.
It tells you all these different things that can be your just one thing.
Nice. I love it.
So
I
that's a
guess-
book.
I guess my one thing should be to read it.
It's very short.
Oh,
It's
well,
just
that's
a
good.
pretty much a list of books. I think you could get through it. But what I like about it is they're really within the book. There's just like something for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to do all the things that are suggested.
Nice.
But there's things that can fit into your life and your lifestyle, and you can just set some small goals, small gains. And I think for a lot of us right now, with how crazy the world seems to be, that we have to remember that everything just happens with one small step at a time.
For sure.
So thanks for joining us in March for Movement March, and we hope that we've inspired you to move,
And
get strong,
And do some self-care.
and get strong mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever way you need to get strong. So thanks for joining us on No Room for Phonies for Movement in March.
Good night.